Angus something, right?
Are you a 2.5 minute? Do you watch the show?
No.
Like my dad and brother, like they love it.
Really?
And I
it's one of the highest rated shows.
they're always like, sit down and
Somebody's
watch.
watching.
And then I don't know if it's always the wrong time, but I sit down and I just go, I don't get it, man.
I don't think John Cryer's funny.
I don't think any of them are funny.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
Charlie Sheen was okay.
They were basically laughing at the addict. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of like I didn't get the whole Charlie Sheen thing at the time of it. So like when I see him, it's annoying.
Yeah.
So
the show was funny. With
it's got to be.
Sheen.
It's got millions of fucking viewers, and the DVDs sell. And all
Ashton
that
Kutcher's
shit.
making a shitload of money for it,
Oh,
so
of course.
it must be doing well. You're right.
I'm not putting it down in that fashion. I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea.
You know what's the number one comedy, and I'm sure you haven't watched it ever, but I got into it. The Big Bang Theory. Have you ever seen that show?
No, but I hear that. I would love to sit down and watch. And I have it on Netflix, and I've never even tried it.
Fantastic. Yeah, the guy that plays Sheldon is probably next to Kramer from Seinfeld, one of the greatest characters.
I'm the one person you find that hates Seinfeld.
Nevertheless, I'm not a big Seinfeld fan either, but you can appreciate what an interesting and unique character.
It made billions of dollars, so who am I?
Sheldon Cooper on that show, amazing.
The Big Bang Theory. Doesn't it also have the guy from Roseanne, the one that was dating Darlene?
Correct. And the hot chick is hot. Oh my God, Kaylee Cuoco. Holy shit, dude. She's smoking, and she dresses great. You know,
yeah.
She draws attention as the hot chick. But it's fantastic. The show's great. If you check it out. Another one that you might appreciate, Duck Dynasty. Have you seen it?
Dude, someone told me about it at work. The marathon was on. I started at like 10:30 in the morning. By like 11:15, I thought it was the worst show. I turned it off.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was
just not into hunting, but
no. But another show that ties it on the stupid level that you may like it or you may hate it is that you see where they carve. The guy has a carve off. He's like a guy that like
the ice dude.
No, it's wood. He carves like wooden animals.
Oh, there's a guy in Crystal Lake that does that. Have you ever noticed that he always had it set up in the parking lot?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, but this guy does it really cool, and he does like super big pieces, and he does it all with a chainsaw. But the hillbilly environment that they're in, and they're in Malibu, California, and it's a great.
No shit.
It's one of those shows that either you love it or you hate it, and they carve really cool shit. That by the end of the show, you get a cool carving at the end of every show. So you're like, it's kind of neat.
Interesting.
It's called Chainsaw Man or Chainsaw something.
There's one about ice carving that's like that too. That's interesting. I've seen that. I've seen like an episode of that, but that was like, once you've seen one ice carving competition, like, what's the drama? The drama always is it going to stick? Is it too hot out? Is it going to melt?
These people though are just funny people. Like there's 4 people they follow basically. They all work at the same shop, and they're all around this one guy. There's 2 guys that are important. It's just interesting.
It's Duck Dynasty. It's all if you like the personalities on it.
Sure.
Because for me, I love the personalities. Jace,
I'll tell you what I watched. I watched where they went to the woods and did that fucking where they fell back into each other's arms and shit.
Okay, that was not a great episode.
Either way, that's what I saw. So that's something I don't fucking like this, and I turned it off.
Yeah, it's bored. It's fantastic. Cy and Jace are tremendous. Their comedic timing is fantastic. But yeah, once you get a bad taste in your mouth about something, that's it.
I won't even watch it. Yeah.
You won't. I cannot talk to you about it. I can't tell you how great it is. You don't want to hear.
There's so much to watch. And my time is somewhat limited now that only some shit gets through. The filter's on super high right now. If it's not on the DVR,
I know
we just have any room right now.
Right? Yeah, you got shit going on.
Not only shit going on, we have a certain amount of time and we watch those shows, and that's what gets in right now. When we run out of shows, I'll look for something else. I have Netflix.
Right. I'm still like, I just switched rooms, so I switched DVRs, and so it was fresh and clean, and now I'm starting to add stuff, and it's like a whole different thing. Like I'm into shows.
Isn't
I wasn't
it funny
into
when you
before.
find new channels and then you get those commercials of you're like, oh, what is this shit? This is a great show.
Amish Mafia one.
Amish Mafia. I'm calling it now. It's gonna be the worst show on television.
I'm sure it will be. But I'm gonna check it out. They're gonna get me for at least one episode.
I just watched the Amish Breaking Amish, where they took 5 Amish kids, and you could tell like 2 of them weren't really Amish. Like I think the show put them in. Mm-hmm. Like they don't seem Amish at all. But she was super hot, the one chick, and she made for good TV. So I think that I just don't think she was like. There's nothing about her that was Amish.
Right. I mean, if you find a hot Amish chick, you're pretty much in.
There's one chick on her that got her teeth pulled out by her uncle or some shit by like age.
Get out of here.
11 or 12 because they were rotten, you know. And so she had these fake dentures that she couldn't really keep in her mouth because they were dark match and shit.
Oh.
So, on one of the episodes, she goes to a doctor in New York and they hook her up. You know, she starts crying, then her grill's good and shit. It's
what a weird.
It's a good show, man.
Oh shit. I've been watching mostly sports lately, so I don't get a chance to watch much other TV. But Duck Dynasty is definitely on my radar now. So
yeah.
I'm disappointed that you've kind of crushed me that you didn't like it.
Yeah, and I was like, nah. And I watched it where, you know what I mean? Like, I sat there, and I even had saved time up by like a half hour because I was cooking when I found it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I sat there fast for the commercials and everything. I was like, I just don't. Fuck these people. It was one of those.
That's the thing is they're not the Bayou billionaires.
The Dowdens.
They're not the Dowdens where they're drug addicts and they're all fucked up. These are people. The dad played football at Louisiana Tech and was actually ahead of Terry Bradshaw. If that name probably doesn't ring a bell to you.
No, of course it does.
But he's on Fox now. He does football. He's very famous. He won multiple Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, Phil Robertson, the dad of Duck Dynasty, was the starting quarterback. Terry Bradshaw was his backup. And he quit football because he was so into duck hunting that it conflicted. So he left football and left an NFL career behind, went into the woods and started duck hunting, invented a duck call that he patented, and then his sons took it, and his son created another one, and now they're gabillionaires off these duck calls. How about that for a story?
That's how it was sold to me originally, and that's why I watched it. And in 45 minutes, I didn't give a shit about it. It was like I said. That's what I saw.
You got like the one wrong 45 minutes of it.
To at least tell you that I did see it. I saw that scene.
But the TMZ kid, that's where we were at.
Oh, right. So go ahead.
TMZ kid decides that he's apparently a born again.
Now this is, it's
really weird.
It does tie in a different weird way, and like. Charlie Sheen went nuts just like this, and he was saying the same kind of shit.
Called Chuck Lorre the Antichrist. And that's two people now that have called him the Antichrist.
Now, these people are a little crazy, too. So,
is he the Antichrist?
I'm not here to pick a side on any of this, but I do
have to point out. Could you imagine the writer of of 2.5 Men was really the Antichrist? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
But I don't know, man. I think the higher up you go in these religions and random things, and especially these people that are older, these religious, weird people, man.
Well, if you're talking about religious weird people, so he's on this show and he gets paid like $8 million.
No, it's $350,000 an episode.
Is it? Is that what it?
Yeah,
never
$350,000. But that's still
that's just his salary there. I'm sure he's getting other endorsements and things off of this, right?
Even if he's not, one episode's fine.
Right. So he decides. I don't know the setting. Does the story here give the setting of where this video originated from? Why he shot this video?
It just says that the guy from 2.5 Men contradicts his deep Christian values. 19-year-old who makes $350K an episode playing Jake on the show is featured in a new video Forerunner Christian Church.
So this church is basically going to exploit this kid by making him say some shit that's controversial so they can get some fucking hits on their YouTube.
Right, but he's doing it on purpose. That's even the weirder one because, we've sat and planned shit, pro wrestling style. That's what this whole world even is. Everything's a step back now, and they plan shit, and then they do shit. So this wasn't done by accident.
No, of course not. He wanted to get this message out, but it's weird that he's burying his own show that he's on. And what drives me crazy is, man, a guy like him in that thing, you're not going to be anybody but that character. What you get out of this is probably what's going to be for you.
Don't you think he's past that? Don't you think he's crazy at this point? And he's just really preaching this. Like when you do this,
he's turning into Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, it doesn't sound pandering. It sounds like he's one of those the born agains are the scariest. They're the scariest. Yes. They kill for it,
dude.
They're weird.
Kirk Cameron. If you listen to what that guy says,
I've watched debates with him, dude. He's nuts.
He is beyond nuts. I mean, seriously, and that guy was on top of the world at one point when it came to TV. That show, Growing Pains, man, and his character alone, the movies, the career that guy could have had, and he basically threw it all away over religion and trying to get his message across, and now he just is so overboard, and he's so homophobic, and no one, and everyone seems to be okay with him being so bigoted, outright bigot. On television, and no one says, "Hey, asshole, you're being an asshole."
Right, shut up.
We're all created equal, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to believe, right?
No, they believe what they want to believe. Man.
So, all right,
and it's always how it applies to them directly,
right? So, if you haven't heard it yet, let's play this kid burying 2.5 Men, saying you shouldn't be watching it. It's evil. It's filth.
Jake from 2.5 Men to me means nothing. He is non-existent character. To Two and a Half Men, if you watch Two and a Half Men.
And, like, who's he sitting there with? Like his spiritual counselor or some shit?
Exactly. Or whoever's touching him.
Who's ever touching him, right. Does he look high?
Please stop watching Two and a Half Men. I'm on Two and a Half Men. I don't want to be on it.
Then
Please
get
stop
off
watching it. Please stop filling your head with filth. Please. It's you know, people.
Do you think he saw how big of a star Charlie Sheen became, and now he's just trying to, like, cause some controversy?
But ultimately, Charlie Sheen was hot for, like, literally 15 minutes.
But he made a lot of money in that 15 minutes.
Did he?
From the outside, dude, he was a part of everything, all the way down to the Gathering. That guy did everything.
Yeah,
he got paid in every avenue that he possibly could in that run.
I suppose, but
and he's still getting paid like Bret Michaels style, where he still goes around. He still makes a vig to go there and say winning.
But it's not the type of career that you want, because from what what's his name, Chuck Zito says, dude, he busts his ass traveling everywhere, and it's not.
Yeah,
it's not a fun way to make money. It's not.
I'm saying on another
being
side,
the highest paid
to get
actor
this
on
church noticed. I think he's using it in a different way, meaning he saw the attention that it'll get, and he's getting it.
Sure.
The same way he saw it the same way.
Yes, because he's being outspoken on a show that you're on. Yes, and it's the same.
And coming out after them. Then quit the show. If he really meant that this would be a thing, saying, I'm quitting the show. I'm going to get to my contract. I'm paying back what I owe. I'm this is for the greater good.
Right.
Not,
I really believe in what I'm saying.
Show. Right.
Right. It's not, I really believe what I'm saying, so I'm going to make some real changes. I'm going to do something drastic.
Right. I'm going to quit the show right now until this happens, or until I publicly get this, or, you know.
That's not what he's saying here.
No.
That's why.
He's just causing a ruckus.
Right. Exactly. He's just causing a headache. Can you imagine what it must be like on that set? It must be
insanity.
It must be awful, because if Charlie Sheen and this kid hate it so much.
And what happened to this kid that this is what you always got touched. Like, I bet, and this is totally my opinion. This is not a fact, but I bet Kirk Cameron was touched.
It wouldn't surprise me.
You know what I mean? And then you always the only way out of that, as I guess, is to believe in God after that. So, because that's kind of what happens next.
Right. I guess that's how you have to explain it, right?
Again, that's my total opinion.
Let's listen to more nonsense.
People say it's just entertainment. The fact that it's entertainment, it's do some research on the effects of television in your brain, and I promise you'll have a decision. You'll have a decision to make when it comes to the television, and especially with what you watch on the television. It's bad news. It's bad news.
It's bad.
So that's coming. I don't know if it means any more coming from me.
No.
But you might not have heard it otherwise. So just watch out. Watch out.
Watch out for what? Watch out for
a lot of people don't like to think about how deceptive the enemy is. It's
the enemy.
Way more. He's been doing this for a lot longer than any of us have been around. So we can't play around. There's no playing around when it comes to eternity. If we're lukewarm, and if we if we're behaving like the Laodiceans, it might cause it is going to cause a lot more harm, because people will see us and be like, oh, I can be a Christian and be on a show like Two and a Half Men. You cannot be a true God-fearing person and be on a television show like that.
It's all lip service.
Yeah, it's hey, look,
a cry for attention.
It's look at me.
Mm-hmm. It's a cry for attention.
Fuck off. I hope you get fired and then you end up, on Celebrity Rehab one day.
He won't even be on Celebrity Rehab. He'll be on he'll be right there with Kirk Cameron. It'll be great.
Kirk Cameron, man. I'm telling you.
So the more absurd, this seems to be the theme, so we'll stick with it, of shitting on religion and shitting on the
deal.
story.
It's not so much as shitting on it. It's when you see it from the other side. This is how it comes off. This is how I hear it. You know what I mean? It's not. That's the difference.
So the atheist comedy is you can look them up on YouTube. They have multiple videos. I've watched a little bit of a couple. I've seen most of this one. You sent me a link to it the other day, and I watched it a little bit. So it's pretty funny. It lays it out in great terms of how ridiculously impossible the idea of Noah's Ark is. Like it breaks it down, but in a very comical fashion.
And it's posted now, facebook.com/ITR Live.
So you can follow along with us if you are listening live, or if you're listening back, you can go there. Pause right now. Pause
it.
Go to our Facebook page.